crossing.
Safer crossing for the schools.
Yes.
Okay.
Exercise station.
Exercise trail stations on the trail. Exercise stations. Okay. A fitness trail.
Reduction in truck traffic overall on Scofieldtown Road.
Traffic concerns. Yeah.
Maintenance of the road in conjunction with the truck traffic.
I think if they just planted some deer-resistant trees, which they're out there around the whole place, it will, whatever they do, it will beautify the area a lot better, and it will cut down on a lot of noise, within the facility.
So there's
stone. It's all solid stone.
Functional
Cut
planting
all the trees down.
around the
You
area.
have to cut down all the trees, all
sorry.
stone, and you do 30 feet in before you start planting.
Please.
What about an educational site for the kids in Stanford that we can use, like for example, the code has sound waters. Why can't we have something like that for our kids, an educational linkage in that part?
I'm getting two conversations at once. I'm sorry. I didn't hear all of what you said.
An educational site for our kids in our schools, that all the schools can come to that park, maybe, I don't know, to walk or to do some kind of program for the kids.
I don't know
Yeah.
how that will be controlled, but it's an open public park.
Environmental education.
I can address
It's
that.
open.
Sound waters. Environmental education. What Sound Waters did is they went to the city and said, we'll take this old building, so it could be in this case, we'll put in a new building, and we'll put the money in to renovate this building. We can lease it from the city and use it for educational purposes. So your firm or the city or whoever could solicit either Sound Waters or some other educational organization to say, do you want to have a site here? You have to pay for whatever it is setting that up, and it's going to be on city property, so there's certain restrictions, but then they have an outlet to talk about the history of Stanford or environmental things.
Right, so it's
or
a
facts or apple orchards or whatever.
public-private partnerships.
Yeah, that's what Sound Waters did.
Yeah. Why not?
I know.
Why not? That's another site.
Public-private partnerships.
The director of Sound Waters is right there, if you'd like to ask her.
So thank you all on Someone's comment, love it. The comment that was said
You're a little
was that we have
biased,
two terrific resources right down the street, and we're happy to come up. But there is the Bartlett and the Nature Center, and I'm sure you've already talked with them about incorporating it. The comment made that you kind of laughed about a bit about, making the salt dome a barn, I think is actually something to think about, that when Karen said we want it to stop being seen as a dump, and while there's still things that have to happen for the city to function, to make them as aesthetically pleasing and to make them fit into the community as much as possible, and so putting it actually as a barn and making the recycling thing look like it's, part of this neighborhood, actually I think has a lot of merit.
You're absolutely right. My little chagrin act was more for the fact that it's this big bump, and it's, if you think of white elephants, and
I
you
think
think of
that's
salt.
kind of our thought as well.
Yeah,
silos
no,
in front of it.
I think it's a very important thing that has to be taken care of with an aesthetic concern of mine. And whether they plant, they try to plant trees like over here, but they really need to plant trees in front of these things, at the very
It's
least.
very difficult, there's a lot of rock. Build it.
More drawing murals on the salt dome, disguising it, maybe or maybe putting trees, painting on it to disguise it, to make it more attractive.
Okay. And added aesthetic participation on the salt dome?
Why not?
Yeah. I think it
Could be landscape pictures or other
could be a new green roof too.
artist competition.
Yeah, I mean, you could have it growing with vines if they really wanted it that.
I've lost track if they put up a basketball court yet. Did they put basketball court?
Basketball court, first basketball court, good question. Okay.
I think we missed community garden plots.
Community gardens. Yes.
Got them across the street.
Across the street, is that going to be incorporated? The
Hold
community garden?
on. We're not judging someone's questions or suggestions or requests. We can vote on them.
I think there's a lot of sports you could list, like racquetball, wall, bocce ball. There's a lot of different things that are not a part of that list. I would like to see amenities there, because just to make it a park, it's going to sit fairly empty. And I'd like to see something for the
Active
kids.
sports amenities.
But like a wall ball, it's important to go with the tennis, like for handball and hitting
Right.
tennis, the wall ball.
A ball wall, for example.
Yeah, but you, like at scales, you have the wall where if you don't have parking, you're hitting it in the wall, or like handball, or you do that. Yeah.
Call it a ball wall or a backboard.
Racquetball wall, something.
Backboards and ball walls for tennis.
Handball.
Does anybody here remember when there were paddle boats in the pond and eating hot dogs on the grill around that pond? Yep. Anybody? Yeah.
How about grills?
And ice skating, yep.
Grills.
I remember I was like 7.
Okay, is that a suggestion or a
Boats
question?
there, you give them 50
Sir,
cents or a
do you
dollar.
want to give us a suggestion about what you want?
No, I'm trying to throw out that it was a nice park.
Well,
It
okay,
did.
so-
I used to baseball games, you know, I do think we have to look at the maintenance fees could be so high it could go into a corrupt state real quick. Does anybody know Dorothy Huron Park? You know, that was kind of nice. And they tore out the racquetball, rotted and fell down, the pool's pretty nasty. And, you know, it's still nice, but it's on the edge. It's
Okay,
ready
I've
to
got
go.
someone else to make a suggestion, please.
Performing Arts Center.
A performing arts center, like all year,
Sure, why not?
okay? Or season. All right, so we pretty much have a list.
You said 8 acres, right?
Okay, what I'm going to go through now is what I want to do now is begin to see a show of hands. We're going to start at number 1, and we're going to go to about number 55 or 60. So, what I'm expecting to see is a show of hands, and we'll just get an idea about whether it's most of you, half of you, or a couple of you. And that'll be a high interest, a moderate interest, or a low interest. So, the first item is an ice skating rink. Can I see a show of hands?
Is that an actual skating rink or is that a well, it makes a difference.
It's not a natural. There's no ice.
Ice skating rink or a pond?
Hey, you know, if you say ice skating rink, we might say there's a huge amount of interest. Now, when we get into design, it's like, okay, we can have 2 types. One just natural, or 2, we build a, you know, one that has all the machinery and everything. And then when we come back to you in a month and say, if you want this one that has all the equipment, this is what it's going to cost, this is the maintenance, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, if you say it's high, you don't need to decide if it's a pond or man-made.
How about just ice skating?
Everything mutually exclusive of each other?
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to go right, like on page 4, we're going to go right down that list, and we're going to say high, medium, or low.
Because I could say hi to the skating rink, but I would say hi to the playscape.
That's okay.
I can have
That's
everything.
okay. It's okay. Because you can vote high as many times as you want, or low as many times as you want. Ice skating, show of hands. I'm guessing low. Bike skills park. Where kids learn to ride bicycles and are.
Sir, can I just ask, to simplify this, I think to go through 50 things and put up our hands, can we just take the back of your last page, maybe you blow that up on the screen, and we all write our top 3 items, and then we'll hand them in to you guys, and then you can get them.
Well, what we are doing with the system after this is you're going to be able to go online to SurveyMonkey, which will be on the website, and you can give a numerical value 1 to 3 on all of the elements that you see there. and we'll get a, because two reasons. There are a lot of people who I think are not here tonight who would like to vote, but they can't make it. And the other is to get a general feel for what the community is saying, so that suddenly we look on the SurveyMonkey results and we see 900 people liked baseball, but there were only 3 people here.
If you don't show up to the polls, then you don't vote, okay? So put it on SurveyMonkey and have people vote there. If they're not here tonight, it's not my problem, it's their problem. This is a waste of time at this point. There were probably a number of important other questions that people want to ask.
You're right in many ways, and I appreciate that. We are charged in a 2-hour period to try and get a chunk of information that we're trying to get, so we can have some reference to what then comes off of SurveyMonkey. After we finish this little survey, question and answer, high, low, high, medium, low, we're going to break it over.
Guys, so you know how to use the internet. So we want to vote for that. How do I know that I voted?
Your email address gets checked in.
You have to live in the area to vote, or you could live in down by the coast.
Can we move on?
We just vote.
You could get a bunch of people who are supporting for one idea, and then plug that in that survey.
How they know they live here?
I think anything is possible. I don't know that somebody from Weston is...
What we're going to do, and because I think it's important to start getting more comments, is one, you know, we'll follow through with the SurveyMonkey, as we said. We'll also work with Aaron to identify two locations to drop off paper surveys, which, you know, we've done another project so that if you're not dealing with the computer, you can come in, stop off, fill out your comments, do, you know, old school, and we'll collect those as well. So it's not just, you know, that we're doing it, that the only way to do it is by computer, but we are, you know, I'll talk to Aaron again so that you can have, you know, have the paper opportunity. And I think some of the things to start listening to is really kind of, you know, other concerns that are, I think, driving the, I know there's frustration in the public about, you know, I'm just tired of piles of dirt. And part of our job is to try to make sure that we can actually build something realistic that can be maintained, that you're not getting trapped in something that ends up just being another failure down the road. It's not like another tax burden. Every community comes in here, every community I work with, people come up with plans. If you can't maintain it, it's a failure.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying.
So the key is going to be, we're going to look at these things, and then we're going to sit down with the city and say, okay, what are your maintenance plans? There is no such thing as zero maintenance. That doesn't exist. We've already thought about going to the nature center and saying about having goats come over for maintaining the brush, which is used. It's done. But I know the deer are like crazy. The deer eat stuff they're not supposed to. But the thing is, as much as it's like we had master plans done in '97, you know, the city asked us, get me something on paper, so when TRC closes this site, I'm not coming back in a year and a half when someone says, I wanted a ball field, now they're regrading it, because the DEP does not let you do that. Now you're going through the opening and closure process again, which that alone is painful. I've done it. And we've done parks, for example, Oyster Shell Park, which everybody I heard in Norwalk said, well, that was the burning teepee. That's just the dump. And you know what? Now they've got apartment buildings there. It's a beautiful active park. There's sculpture on top of it. The people buying those condos don't see a dump anymore. So the transformation happens. It will happen. Yes?
I just want to say one more thing. In light of the fact that this recreational project is going to be an environmentally regulated location, I want to put on the record that
any subsequent plan, whether it be recreational or whatever, is subject to an environmental assessment in accordance with any applicable statutes. So I want to put that on the record. So any projects, whether it be an ice skating rink, in light of the fact that it's an environmentally sensitive area, groundwater and everything else. For the record, if there's any applicable wetland water course,
Anything, any work that's done has to go through that city process, correct?
And it's state and federal.
So I have a question.
Oh, no.
Can I just ask some of the offices of the Parks and Recreation?
The ultimate maintenance of the park facility, the area that's defined as a park within this space, will be operated and maintained by the City Parks and Recreation, yes.
Do we have a member of that board here tonight?
There's several people from the Parks Department here
Well, I
tonight.
think they should comment on whether they're going to be able to maintain, quote, a football field, a field, whatever.
We're going to get to that point. As I said before, this is one of 3 meetings. What our consultants are trying to do tonight is, in a very accelerated way, try to collect all your ideas in a manner that's, mathematical, so they can stand behind the numbers. And I realize everybody's been working all day today, and our time isn't valuable. So I'm going to suggest at this time we have a lot of good ideas. There was a gentleman this evening, and we're good friends because we've met at many meetings, and he's frustrated because he's been through this so many times. What's interesting is if you look back on the master plan of 1997 from 15, 16 years ago, there were things on that plan that nobody even brought up tonight. So as time evolves, things change. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this exercise again. And coupled with the fact that we're building over a landfill, which is a very sensitive area.
One thing you're not doing is showing the results of the 3 previous efforts.
We will get there.
Neighborhood input to
Yes.
say what this neighborhood wants in that
We're
park.
hearing it tonight, but we've also heard it before. And with the record information and with your history, we're going to try to do that. And I want to take advantage of your knowledge. So tonight, Mr. Sassa recommended a way to accelerate this process of decision making. And Stuart's method is tried and true. However, if the sense is that we don't want to spend all this time raising hands, counting votes, and all of that, then we'll have to come up with a different method. And if you want to take your top 3, and if you have another idea, Stuart, I'll welcome it. Put it on the back of the piece of paper, and they'll work with that information. We're just out here like anybody. I'm an engineer. I'm not a Census Bureau person, but we're trying to collect data. And with that information, we're going to make better decisions. They're going to be more unified across the board. And hopefully, in the end, I'm not going to cap this landfill and not consider one of the options that's higher order of importance to the community. There's a lot of similar themes being said here tonight. The ball fields is one of them. That all has to be engineered, has to be costed, have to look at maintenance. I've done this multiple times in the city, so I'm pretty good at understanding the implications with that. I've never done one in a landfill. I've seen them in New York City, and they're complicated, but it can be done. But there's a lot of passive ideas here, too, that are much easier to implement, that beautify the area, that add aesthetics, that does what Karen was saying before, tries to take the focus off the fact that this has been not a friendly place to come or see. And we're trying to get there. So if I could make a suggestion that you take your papers, anybody that wants to put the top 3 or any other new ideas, give it to us. And I'll make our consultants work for their money, and they'll have to take all this data in their own office and run the numbers. And we come back next time, hopefully the information will be presented in a spreadsheet or a graph that is easy and palatable. And we'll get to your question about maintenance and the feasibility of doing these ideas. I told you when we started, I don't have the funds for the end use. That's going to come with your ideas. That's going to come with the next administration and elected officials working with the various boards of finance representatives to approve funds that you're looking for to implement here. But tonight we're just trying to, like I said, coordinate end use with the cap. That's what I need so that Carl Stopper from TRC can finish the final design of the capping plan and coordinate these ideas with it. Because if we don't do that, it's a failed project. And I'm not gonna just sit back and let that happen.
Can we just go forward with Stuart's plan, because I can't see everything, and I need you to read through that list so I can vote on my blatant amendments.
Let's see a show of hands. Does people want to go through that exercise right now? A majority or a minority?
Go.
Okay.
Go.
Then we're going to go rapidly. We have 35 minutes to wrap this thing up, and I'm going to push Stuart to do this as quickly as he can.
But I also want to say that there are plenty of people that aren't here. I mean, I have
Right.
little kids, none of my friends are here.
There's going to be opportunities with the internet. We're not going anywhere. So keep the ideas flowing. We'll get there.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
After tonight, or by Monday, you'll be able to go on to SurveyMonkey, which is on our on the site. But right now, bike skill area. Let's see a show of hands. Number 2, medium. Number 3, walking trails, high. Number 4, mixed-use athletic fields, medium. A snack bar, number 5. You didn't even vote for it.
I did.
Okay, there's 1. That's low. Number 6, tennis courts. Ooh, that's medium high. 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 Hi, how are you? Restrooms. Oh, there's a lot of old folks saying yes. Okay. All right. Pet cemetery. Low. Glacial boulders used for use around the park. That's a good medium high.
That's not high. That's not.
An attractive and aesthetically pleasing entrance and exit. Oh, that's very high. Composting service. Okay, bias on my part, medium.
No, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. That's low.
Low. Number 12. Someone said lighted walking trails. Let's see a show of hands.
Solar power.
Solar power.
Solar power.
Solar power.
Low. The stone wall perimeter. That sounds like number 9. The stone wall perimeter, medium. The playscape, number 14.
What is it?
Medium.
Does that mean playgrounds?
Yes. Playground, playscape, high. Excuse me. Parking. Parking, medium. A weather station. Weather station, low. A history wall, low. Running track, medium. Baseball field, low. Having no lighting on the site. Ooh. High.
But what does that mean? No lighting at all?
Outdoor music space.
If you have a basketball court, there's no lights?
That's correct.
What's the problem with lights? I don't understand.
Okay.
There's
an
no
outdoor
neighbors.
music space.
There's no neighbors.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Outdoor music space. Low. Covered picnic areas. Medium. Dog park, bark park. Medium. No more taxes. Vending machines. Vending machines, low. Listen to Us, which is a reference to the 1997 and all previous park plans. I see a high. Number 27, safe and policed and maintained. High. 28 is sustainable. Yes, high. Bicycle and pedestrian safety, and this deals along Ribbon Rock Road, as well as internal Ribbon Rock. Excuse me. I can't spell agenda either. 29 is high. benches with backs, high. Naturalistic plantings, very high. Golf pitch putt areas, low. Splash pad, particularly used for children, non-swimming, sprinkle things. Splash pad once, splash pad twice. Final offer, low. Signs and linkage to the surrounding parks and other facilities like the Arboretum, high. Bird sanctuary, birding, that's fairly good. I'll say it's high. Change perception, I think this is a long thing coming, but I think there's a lot of people who are saying, yes, that's high. Change perception, high. Fencing and trees, particular to the perimeter.
That goes in with the sign.
Very high. Complementary to the area and neighborhood. High. Change salt dome image. Looks like about the highest rating we've got tonight. That's high. Safe street crossings. High, particularly from the schools. Okay? And I presume also from the elder houses across the street. Exercise stations, exercise platforms, facilities. That's medium, that's good. Functional plantings. This is what I mean, probably it meant screening and wildlife attraction.
Go back one.
I miss traffic concerns. Traffic concerns around the roads, it's a pretty high concern, yes.
Say that again.
Number 42 is traffic concerns. I imagine it deals with limiting parking, trucks coming in and out of the site. These are all constraints on engineered, quantified, verifiable statistics. The functional plantings, again, these are both for screening, wildlife attraction, education. There are a lot of things that would be there. High. Public-private partnerships, whether it's with any of the environmental groups, education groups, whatever. It looks like it's fairly medium, good. The salt dome art, I think it's probably some meaning of an aesthetic treatment. An aesthetic treatment of the salt dome. Medium, low, excuse me. It's already an aesthetic treatment. Basketball court. Low. Bocce ball, bocce court, and I think there was also, okay, bocce's low. Active park amenities.
That was like the ball wall, the bocce.
Bocce's spelled good. I think the ball wall was a reference to having handball, tennis court balls, paddleball. A show of hands on the ball walls. Medium, very good. Performing Arts Center, it's unclear if it's 365 or 3 months, summer months. Indoor, outdoor, let's just say, we had one earlier for an outdoor performance area. This says a performing arts center. I'm thinking it's an enclosed structure.
Salt dome.
Nobody else?
It's a low. Sorry. Okay. That's it. Let me think. Now, I want to take about a 5-minute break so we can get back to talking about some question and answer periods. But also want to mention that by next week, Monday, you can can go online, look at all these same things. We'll have the spellings corrected, I promise. And we'll have things so that you can vote on them. If you go on to Scofieldtown.org, it's online right now. Scofieldtownpark.org.
What's the Facebook page?
It's a big vote, isn't it? Harris, can the existing park map be on the website too? It already is.
Right now, all of the maps that you see, the quarter mile, the existing park, the capping plan are on the website right now. So those maps are there. There's an email address there to send comments. As Stuart said, we're going to have the survey up on Monday, and that's going to, again, to listen to people that are out there in your community, because you know your neighbors, talk to them, and, have them voice their opinion. I mean, that's really what we're trying to do, is to bring the town, bring what we used to do in our town. People got together and talked at the town hall. It's gotten, bigger now. We're trying to listen to everybody. So this is kind of doing what we used to do 200 years ago. Now we're just got a bigger town now. So that's what we're trying to do. There's Facebook, which is kind of informal, and then you can have conversations with each other on that. Make your comments, say, gosh darn it, I want a, duck pond or something, I don't know. But you can just have conversations amongst the neighbors. This is going to be your park. You're living in this area. You really are the experts on what are going to be the best uses. You know how the city maintains things. If we do a formal French garden, you know it's going to fail in 2 weeks. So I'm pretty sure none of you want that. So, help us. I know you've heard this before. Help us help you. Yeah.
What's the problem with the plan from '97? I don't know. I came in late. Is that just we have to redo all the plans? It's just not applicable now, or something, or we're going through another whole planning process. A lot of planning. Yeah.
I don't want to repeat myself, but I will do so to answer that question. We're dealing with an environmental consent order here, and we have to design a capping plan that the DEP will accept in order for us to move this thing forward. That's where TRC is going to come in to design that. We are trying to coordinate end use, all these ideas, these very good ideas that you have tonight, within our capping plan. For most importantly, so that we don't re-engineer or redesign the cap. As Tegenbein mentioned before, we don't want to open up a closed landfill. That happened at Kosciuszko Park, and I spent years dealing with that. And in the end, it turned out to be successful in the end. But we want to try to avoid that, limit that.
So that plan didn't take anything into account?
The plan, yeah, it never really developed to its fruition. There are ideas on that plan that nobody brought up tonight. There's a roller hockey rink on that plan. We didn't hear roller hockey tonight.
You're not going to from this crowd. There was nothing about sports really that hit too much. Okay. Tennis, that was about it. But which concerns me, because a lot of my neighbors are looking for sports-oriented stuff, but they're not here. So I'm a little concerned that this is going to be another Bartlett Arboretum Part 2, as opposed to some for the kids, which would really enhance our property values, I would feel.
Well, please, go to the websites or the Facebook, and if there's other people out there that have other ideas, they should chime in. And I want to close tonight with Aaron giving us some information on the next 2 meetings, just to add a little clarity as to where they are and when they are.
I apologize because we have changed the meeting dates and locations a couple of times, and I really apologize for that. The next meeting is actually November 14th, It's going to be at the Stanford Government Center on the second floor in the Senior Center Auditorium. Same time, 7 to 9. So Thursday, November 14th, 7 to 9, Stanford Government Center, second floor, Senior Center Auditorium. The third meeting is December 4th, like it says up there, and that will be here in the gym. And also, you know, the website will have all the dates if there are any changes. If you'd like me to email you, as I have an email list that I've been using to send out invitations, if you want to be on that, just give me your email and I'll be happy to put you on that list. And I'm sorry about the changes. I know it's very confusing, but we won't change anything anymore, unless it snows in December or something. Anyway. Aaron?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the 14th, at the senior center, because it's very small.
The senior center holds about 110 people. We figured that would be sufficient. Do you think there's...
Well, and that plus the fact that everybody lives up here and they have to travel downtown.
The rationale, ma'am, behind the venue change was simply to broaden it's a city park, and there may be other people that weren't able to make it up to North Stamford this evening, so it just provides another venue for some additional input. And we're going to close tonight by asking Eris just to sum up for us what he hopes and what the goals are for the next meeting, based on the input we have tonight.
Okay, thanks, Lou. So what's going to happen after tonight, and we get additional information from you? We're going to start developing a number of concepts. It's not just going to be one plan, but it's a number of concepts that incorporates really what we've heard from the numbers from you in terms of what you really wanted to see in the park. Then we're also going to start assigning values of what it would take to actually build these things, so you understand the implications of, if we really want to do this, this is what it'll take. Because if you want a multi-use field, a synthetic turf field, that's $1 million. We can tell you.
Nobody says synthetic.
True, that's a very good point.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
But what we would do is we'd have a field that basically says you have a natural turf field, which requires this type of maintenance, or a synthetic field, which is $1 million. So there's things that we can start, providing you hard choices, and again saying, what do you like and what don't you like? So you start actually seeing those hard plans come to life, and then based on that input, we refine that for the third meeting to be a final plan. That gives your final blessing, and that's going to be tweaked a bit, that final plan, but that's going to be basically what you will see after the third meeting.
Page 6. This is what you're walking away with. Next week, you're going to go on the park website. It'll direct you to SurveyMonkey.
What's the park website again? Can you repeat that?
Scofieldtownpark.org.
Scofieldtownpark.org. And you'll be voting, putting a 1, number 2, or number 3 on about 2/3 of the topics. We'll use that statistical information to really verify some of the things that the public wants. And when we come back, we'll use those scores to help present a design that reflects your interests, the municipal's needs, and environmental benefits.
Will you have the results from the website survey for the next meeting?
Absolutely. Yes, that it'll be. We'll have that loaded up on the site even well before that meeting.
We hope that 2014 we get rid of the dirt and have the cap, but after, can you tell us how long the rest of this will take? I've heard 10 years.
That's up to what the final plan is, in terms of uses and budget. Yes.
Right, isn't that going to be dictated by how much money we have?
Absolutely.
No, we're going to be limited to doing only certain things.
For example, if walking trails were part of it, that's not a big money item. So it's actually kind of planning it and trying to put these pieces in and understanding, well, if I want, it's just like when you want to make renovations at your house. Nobody can come in and do everything at once, and it's over time.
So you're gonna, somewhere we're gonna have 10 million to spend, or 5 million, and that's gonna dictate more or less what we can put into the plan.
This meeting is timely because this time of year is when capital budget requests go in for the next fiscal year. And as I said before, whether the whole park gets incorporated into an end use or phased in is something that we have to discuss. We haven't had those discussions yet, but I'm hoping that some of the end use ideas that come out of these 3 meetings I can use to incorporate into the budget request for next fiscal year going forward. So at least in July, that's when money will be available to incorporate something. I can't tell you how much. You mentioned 10 million. The city may not be able to get anywhere near that, but I'm using this information so that it can help me with that process as well. That's a possibility. You should talk to your district representatives and the people that ultimately vote and make decisions, which is also the community. The planning board, it starts with the planning board. And with that budget, there's a public hearing. And those hearings, if it's that important to you, you should be at those public hearings, advocating for the things that you're interested in. Yes, sir.
Question to you. Did you not say at the meeting 2 years ago that it was going to take 4 years to cap the park, and it would take another 4 years to build the park? And so that was like an 8-year horizon before we would have a replacement for the park we lost.
I don't know who made the statement you just referred to.
I think you gave it.
Well, you know what? At the time, I have an answer for everything, right? At the time, I didn't know that I was going to be able to be approved for $5 million to do a landfill capping. That happened last year. At the time that we had those meetings, all of those decisions hadn't been made. So we do the best we can with the information we have at the time.
What do you think the time period before we'll see a replacement park? Now?
I can't answer that right now because that rests with a lot of other people making decisions about the finances, and I don't have that information at hand. I can tell you though, with the funds that I have for the closure, I have a defined timeline that I've submitted to the DEP, and we're moving forward with that, and we're moving forward rapidly with that. And with that, I just want to say thank you all for your input, and we look forward to more meetings and discussions with you.
Thank you.